Hi, I'm Kim, and you're watching Kim Wilson TV. My channel is dedicated to helping victims of narcissistic abuse get free and stay free. This video is being made by special request, and today we're going to talk about ghosting. We always have to go back to the simple fact that pretty much every bizarre, crazy-making, insane, chaos-inducing bit of insanity that the narcissist is flinging out there at you is a direct result of one of their core fears. Now, with abandonment being right in the forefront as one of their absolute core fears in life, I mean, to the point of, obsessive, compulsive, thinking about this, to paranoia. You don't know what's going on, but there is some turbulent shit going on in Captain Narctard's fucked up mind, right? So, well, you're just living your life. They're in this constant state of delusion and paranoia, believing that you're going to abandon them. So this gives you power in their mind. So they need to take that power back. So once they suspect that you've seen the mask slip or you're now questioning them about something, instantly that fear of abandonment is going to fly up in them, and they are going to think, oh shit, they've got the power to abandon me, so they need to take that power back now, and now you're in this mortal fight to the death that you probably have no idea about, and they're going to take that power back, and they're going to initiate the ghosting, the dumping, the discard. Now, quite typically as a victim, you are going to your narcissist with these issues because you are looking for resolution. You love them very much. Possibly you've come to recognize something's not fucking quite right over here. But what you're looking for is resolution. And when I would try to talk to Trevor, I mean, he would just go off on these fucking tangents that were absolutely, I don't know what the fuck was going on there. And I'd be saying to him, like, Trevor, I don't know where you're going, but I'm just looking for resolution. It was almost as if he could not see all the chaos and insanity that he was creating. And this to him created mortal combat, fight to the death. He believed now I'd seen a glimpse of him, so I was leaving, so he had to take that power back. He was initiating the ghosting, dumping, and discard, and the fucking fight was on. And I would say to him sometimes, like, dude, are we in a mortal combat? Like, what the fuck is happening here? Now, in the narc's absolutely twisted fucking mind, they believe they've taken back the power. They are going to, ghost, dump, and discard you, even if none of this is actually happening. It is happening in their heads. And because they need so desperately to win, though ultimately they look like epic losers, they are going to launch this attack of ghosting, dumping, and discarding you, believing they're going to come out the winner in this. Now, this also proves all that shit they were saying about you couldn't be trusted. Now, I never did a fucking thing to Trevor that would ever indicate I couldn't be trusted, but all I ever heard was I couldn't be trusted. I couldn't be trusted. So now this thing they're locked onto, that they're going to beat you at abandonment, confirms them that you could not be trusted because you are now going to abandon them, but they're going to beat you at it. I mean, it's absolute fucking mind fuckery from hell. Now, what makes ghosting different from the discard is the discard is typically what happens after the dumping. Now, the ghosting is happening prior to the dumping as part of a first step into that dumping phase. So they're just going to vanish from the relationship. In their mind, you no longer exist. And if you're still with them, when Trevor would start ghosting me, sometimes he would say to me, now, I will talk to you tonight, or we can have a nice night tonight if you don't mention, any of it. And now, because Trevor is a malignant, covert narcissist, psychopath, narcopath, I mean, absolute at the top of, the loony scale, I would think about that, and I would think, okay, this maniac has fucked up every aspect of our life, every aspect of our home, of our careers together, everything. Like, he'd fucked up everything. Trevor had been fucking up everything in his life since early adolescence. So Trevor was fine in that state of fuck-uppedness because it was very, very familiar and had actually grown to be quite comforting to him. I mean, he just lived in an absolute state of fuck-uppedness and manic chaos. So I would think to myself, okay, well, if we can have a nice night, if I don't talk about any of the fucked up shit, well, okay, So, there's nothing to talk about now because everything's fucked up, and I would just sit there in silence. So I guess we were kind of ghosting each other at that point. Now, as this ghosting phase is beginning, they are disappearing from the relationship, and their mind, you are disappearing from the relationship, and they're going to a very, very dark mental condition now. One of feeling very, very fearful, paranoid. They become very childish and immature. They become very weak and very frail emotionally, and this is all very, very stressful for them. So quite often, the stress just becomes too fucking much. So they are able to vanish. They're able to eliminate you, and both of you just sort of disappear. The lights are on, but nobody's home. Now, ghosting, of course, is a very, very painful form of abuse and emotional abandonment. So when you are being ghosted, emotionally abandoned, quite often victims will become physically ill, emotionally unstable, quite frantic, almost like that mother you see on the news who is pleading for information, you know, to get her missing or abducted child back. Like, you know, I would become frantic and I'd be saying, Trevor, you know, are you in there? Are you in there? Because he would just disappear. So the more frantic I'd become, the more unsettled I'd become. Well, fuck, that's when the smirk came out, right? This was hurting me. He knew this was hurting me, and he just loved this fucking shit. Now, since all of this ghosting and dumping and abandonment is all, you know, part of just a really damaged mind and the thought process of a really damaged mind, they are immediately, like, once they get in full swing, now they got to keep going. So if they believe you were going to abandon them, they've taken back that power, now they think they're losing their supply, so now they're right back on the cell phone, texting, desperate. I need supply, I need supply, I need sex supply, I need, you know, so next thing you know, now they're cheating, now they're triangulating you, now there's all this insanity has just exploded in your life, and it all could stem from a very simple question about one of their behaviors that you were just looking for resolution to. Guys, now sadly, I'm sure many of you loved your narcs very much or still do love your narcs, and I love Trevor very much. But the reality is this is an absolute dead-end road. You know, when a simple question turns into ghosting, dumping, discarding, cheating, lying, I mean, it's just too fucking much, right? Like, it's too much. It's never getting any better, and your best bet is always going to be run like you're being chased by Satan. There's always going to be a way to get out. I know when you're in that state of total confusion and desperation, despair, it can seem absolutely all-consuming. If there is any way that you can just free your mind of it, lock on to the fact that no matter what, you got to get the fuck out of this shit relationship because it is bad. It's only ever getting worse. There's no way to make it better. And the swift termination of this relationship and going absolute no contact with this fiend is always going to be your best and safest bet. Now, you know, I hear people are missing their narcs and wishing things had been different. And truly, I wish things could have been different. I wish there possibly could have been a way because, you know, I did love Trevor and I had a tremendous amount of empathy for his condition. But, guys, there's just no way. You got to go. Now, of course, we all know who Sam Bachman is, and of course, we all love Sam, and Sam's tad creepy from time to time, but, you know, bless his heart, right? You know, I've watched many of Sam's videos, and he will say it over and over and over and over again. In fact, I've never once heard him say there's a way to make this work. He's going to tell you straight up, get away from my kind. This is not a place for loving empaths, people who are kind and really want to find a relationship where there's a great exchange of love and respect and honesty and loyalty. This is just never going to happen with a narc. And trust me, if there was a way, Sam would know it. And I've never once heard Sam Vaknin say that there is any way in hell to make this work. Now, when you know, a king narc like Sam is telling you, you got to go. I'm telling you, you got to go. And I wish there had been another way in my relationship. I wish, you know, there had been a way to help save Trevor from himself. But Trevor is absolute human trash. He is not worth one more minute of my time. There is never going to be a way to make that work. And I needed to accept that, and I needed to move on from that. Now, we didn't do anything wrong. All we did was love these sick, very sick people. And if you ever want to move on with your life, find a really good human being that you can have a real human love exchange with, you've got to get away from these people. And if you are away, look, I see over and over again, people have been hoovered back in, and it always ends badly. It's always going to end badly. Get away, go no contact. It's got to stop. I'm Kim. You're watching Kim Wilson TV. Bless your hearts. Peace be with you today. Thanks, guys. Love you lots.